why would you start in a month or 2 months or on a Monday or on the first when you could just start right now, today? And then by that time, you'll already have a little bit of a catalog. Here's what I'm saying. All the bullshit about, uh, New Year's resolutions or about, oh, I'm going to, the cliche, like, I'm going to start on the first or I'm going to start on a Monday or, that sort of thing. Those are all just excuses, okay? And here's why. If you start right now, whether it's working out, if you want to learn an instrument, if you want to learn a trade, whatever it is, they can literally be anything. Like, name one thing and I guarantee you could start it probably right now. Obviously, some things, like if you wanted to get a certain kind of job, you have to build up to that, but you can always start right now. Everything in the world that we live in, everything is at our fingertips. Meaning you can go on YouTube or the internet or Google or whatever, and you can type in whatever you want to know, and you will know it within seconds, okay? So there's absolutely no excuse for anything. Everything you can figure out. Everything is figure outable. One example I can give you right now. Content creation, okay? It just so happens that I'm in that mode as well. If you want to start on TikTok, you can start on TikTok. If you want to start on YouTube, you can start on YouTube. If you want to start, we have all these platforms. You can start wherever the hell you want to, okay? The greatest thing about the time that we're living in is that we are able to create a lane for ourselves, okay? Back 50 years ago, if we were to tell someone this, they'd be like, okay, you're from another planet, that's impossible. Back then it was Hollywood told you who the celebrities were, okay? You'd only hear about people, through the radio or national broadcast system, whatever the hell, I don't even know what I'm saying. But, like, people would tell you who the famous people were, and you had to have connections to build your own platform and to get an audience and a following, right? Now it's not like that anymore. Any regular Joe can go and post, talking about blankets, their obsessions with blankets, and they like to make blankets. So now they can go on here and get millions of views for doing something that they really like. Obviously, it's going to be probably a more, like, smaller niche community, but, like, you can pave the way for anything, okay? So, and I'm doing this without a script, so, like, I'm probably going to be all over the place. I don't know, I just kind of had a little, kind of spark, and I was like, yeah, I feel like I should talk about this a little bit, because it's something that, I struggled with for a while too, was just putting everything off, and I can only, like, I've been wanting to do this content creation for a while, like, couple years now, and I started, it's gonna come up on a year in like 5 months that I've been starting, but imagine if I had started 3 years ago when I really wanted to, or when I first started my YouTube channel when I was in high school. Imagine if I did, where I could be now, Who knows, but it's no good to ponder over that, but just, like, think of that, Right now you're like, oh, it's not going to make a difference if I start right now or in a week. It very well could be the difference between you making it and you not making it, okay? Because every single day that you're putting work out and that you're building your own catalog and your own repertoire and your own resume on the internet, because you never know who's watching. This every day you can have on someone else is an up, is an advantage. I can't tell you how many times, like, I've had this same thing happen to me, and I'm sure a lot of people can share the same, like, experience, right? Whether it's like, let's say the example is like working out, right? It's January 1st, you start working out because it's your New Year's resolution or whatever. You start working out on January 1st and you stay with it for like a couple weeks, okay? Then you kind of forget about it a little bit and you kind of push it off because you're starting to get, like, beginner results and you're like, hey, I actually look kind of good, whatever. You kind of let it go. Next thing you know, it's May, it's June, it's time for, you know, summer. You want to go out to the pool, you want to find a girl or a boy, whatever you're into. Um, you stopped working out. Now where are you at? You don't want to, take off your shirt. So that's just an example I can give you, but like imagine if that person or if you hadn't stopped working out since January. If you kept with it, by May you would have been astronomically different than where you were before, okay? So now you're sitting here like, "Oh, I should have stuck with it," like blah blah blah. But at the time you weren't thinking that because it wasn't directly affecting you. You have to always think 5 steps ahead, okay? Like Nikocado avocado. That's just for some reason that just came to my mind. I'm kind of dressed like a cunty avocado right now. But like, he was 10 steps ahead of everyone. We thought he was like 400,000 pounds overweight. Next thing you know, he posts out of nowhere and he's, slim as a toothpick, bro. Like, that kind of stuff. You have to be ahead of the game, okay? You have to be ahead because most people are not thinking that way. And even people, you watch this video and you're like, you get a boost of motivation. That motivation's not always going to be there. You have to always be thinking in your best interest. One thing that one of my favorite creators of all time, artists, said was he knew his potential when he was starting out, okay? He knew his potential. He was telling people, "Oh, I'm going to get this one day. I'm going to reach these heights." Everyone was like, "What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Like, go back to your fucking job." Like, yeah, okay. You're the only one who knows your potential, okay? The moral of that is he knew his potential and he is now one of the biggest names in hip hop rap. So you can get whatever anyone can do whatever they want now. That's the greatest thing. Again, I'm probably, this is the 7th time I said this. The time we live in is the best to create your own lane, okay? And there's so many monetization options for whatever you want to do. Expand, overindulge in what you're trying to do is what I'm trying to say. If you're trying to start a business, just plaster your business everywhere, okay? Every social media platform you can. YouTube is a great one that we have. Learn the algorithm, learn how to, post things and learn how to get your image out there, okay? Post music on SoundCloud or, on Spotify or whatever. I don't know exactly how that works, but like, you never know who is watching, okay? The algorithm works in mysterious ways. You might be averaging 10 views for 5 years, and then when the next day you wake up, it's like, oh, you have like 1 million subscribers, some shit like that, Or, if you're just consistency and, what was the other word? Consistency and quality, okay? When you mix those two together, it's pretty much impossible that you don't succeed, okay? If you're consistent every day and you make sure you put your all into it every day, it might take 5-10 years or it might take a month. But if you're guaranteed success, okay? Like, I don't think there's a world where if you're genuinely trying every single day when you wake up to the time you close your eyes, from the time you open your eyes to the time you close your eyes in one day, if you're genuinely trying, you will get what you want to get. And you can't let other people just like tell you what's stupid and what you should do and what you can't do, okay? I'm in a more fortunate situation. Some people aren't, okay? But that doesn't mean, some of the biggest names ever have came from, dirt. So even if you're in dirt right now, even if you're in a good position like me, all you have to do is stay consistent And all you have to do is be smart about what you're doing, okay? Be smart, strategize, think about it. I'm just rambling at this point, but like, I really just want to get that through because it took me so long to realize. But then, like, once I've been, more consistent with, whatever it is I'm doing, whether it's content creation or for me, a big one is music. You start to find that the results over time are more gratifying than doing something right away and getting, pleasure for it. So, delayed gratification is the term if you want to go and look that up. And I'm not a psychologist. Okay, one thing that I kind of left out when I was making that is like, it's really important that you recognize you have to be fully committed to what you want and you have to know what you want and what your goals are, okay? Because if you go into something not only blind but not knowing kind of like where you want to be, you'll have a little bit more difficulty and you'll kind of get lost and kind of have a block on your path to success or on your path to your goals. Well, you won't have any in that case. Um, but you also have to obsess over what you want. I'm talking living and breathing it. If you want to be great, if you want to succeed at a very, you know, high level at what you're doing, you have to obsess over it. You have to live and breathe and drink it and eat it, okay? And sleep it. Like, and dream it. Literally everything, okay? I'm talking about like when I'm at work, when I'm doing other things, all I can think about is music and content creation. Obviously I can focus on what I'm doing in the moment, but like it's all I want to be doing. And that is inevitably how you create success and drive your own and like pave your own road, okay? A lane, whatever the hell I've been saying. But yeah, that's the main point I just wanted to get across is that you stay consistent with quality and you obsess over what you want to do. Because if you do something half-ass, you're not going to get where you want to be. If you want to be doing stuff half-ass, go for it. Nobody's going to stop you. You can do whatever the hell you want to do. But me, I'm not that kind of person. And I know there's plenty of people out there, who are just stuck and struggling right now, not quite knowing where to go. You have to want it super bad. Super, super bad. There's no world where you can half-ass something and get everything you want unless you're the son of the president of the United States. But yeah, so like, there's no world unless you're, also fed a silver spoon. The hard reality is that we have to work for what we want, but if you really want something, it won't be work. It'll just be living. So make your passion or whatever you want to do or want to learn your life. And then it won't be a chore anymore. All right, that's it.